Hello lovelies! Today we are talking about something that has been highly requested. Several people have asked me to talk about this. My retail stories.
Dun, dun, dun.
So yes, I've worked several years in retail and customer service jobs, and I'm very happy to be away from that environment at this point in my life. For this, I am not going to name any of my past employers' names, just for my personal privacy and so that any of the past companies do not get all up in their feelings. So these stories vary from each job I've had. I had some seasonal jobs when I was younger, and then I got another job where I was eventually promoted into management. One of the stores I worked at mostly had me on dressing room and front for cashier, so this first story is revolved around the dressing rooms. Of course, the dressing rooms have a limit on how many items you can bring in with you. I think at the time it was like 6, but any of the girls that came into this store did not get that memo. They would bring up like 20 items at a time and kind of throw it on the counter at me and then ask me to sort out all their shit. One girl I remember in particular, she handed me over her items so I could count them and set up a room for her. I noticed that she had a children's dress with her, and I asked her if she wanted me to keep it up front for her because technically you're not supposed to take other merchandise into the dressing rooms with you. She looks at me all confused and says,
"No, I'm trying that on."
This is an adult woman. Then there's that awkward moment where you don't know if you should tell the adult woman that she's trying to try on a children's dress. Now, this girl was about my size, she had some curves to her, there was no way she was going to fit in this children's dress. Hell, she could have been any size and she wouldn't have fit in this dress. Her shoulder length, her height, this was not going to happen. So of course, I don't want to insult her, so I just offered her my help if she needed any assistance. I can't force her into not trying on the dress. So she goes inside the dressing room, and a few minutes later, lo and behold, I hear the lovely sound of material ripping. The dressing rooms were so fun. Another problem we had at that store was theft, and the management didn't really care about it. The money that store lost over theft alone was insane to me. The most common way was for girls to shove different items inside their purse. On one occasion, we were watching this group of girls who had clearly been shoving different things in their purse, but of course we have to physically see them put the item in their purse and then have them walk out the door before we can do anything or call the police. When a girl comes in with a purse this size and leaves with a purse this size, it's totally normal. So one of these girls goes to leave, walks outside, and literally eats shit on our sidewalk. Her bag goes everywhere, including some of the clothes she had shoved inside of it. I will give her this, she was very quick on her feet and her friends booked it to their car. She did get away with some items that didn't happen to fall out of her purse. Meanwhile, all these girls are screaming at us,
"Yeah, fuck you! Look what we did! We're so cool!"
Blah blah blah, and they speed off. First of all, we had their license plate because their car drove right past us. And in a turn of events, the girl that ate shit on our sidewalk dropped her wallet when all of the stuff fell out of her purse. So not only were we able to give the police the car, the license plate, we gave them this girl's ID as well. Moral of the story, don't be a shoplifter. One of my other jobs was I did a holiday season at a toy store. Yes, it was crazy, insanely crazy. One story that I can remember is showing a father to the princess dress area of the store. He was looking for a specific princess dress for his daughter, so I took him on over, showed him the different princess options we had. He looks at me and says,
"I'm sorry, do you have any dresses that aren't so slutty?"
Now, according to this man, a slutty princess dress is a dress that comes up to the neck here and to the arm here. That was the definition of a slutty princess dress for this man. When I told him that those were the only princess dresses we had, he did the classic,
"Well, I want to speak to your manager,"
so he could complain about our slutty princess dresses. Black Friday. I also worked a Black Friday at this toy store. First of all, stores that do the whole Black Friday thing and make their employees leave Thanksgiving away from their family is ridiculous to me, and this is one of the reasons I don't go Black Friday shopping. Also, anyone that's gonna fight over a TV on Black Friday when you were just saying how thankful you were for the life you had is really ridiculous. Moving on. The Black Friday I worked, I had to leave my family's Thanksgiving around 7 p.m. because I had to fight the Black Friday traffic, get inside the store, and then help prepare. I was checking for my shift, but I still had to help be there to set up the store. The parking lot was so slammed that the designated parking spots for the employees were taken. So I literally had nowhere to park my car. Any nearby parking lots were full. There was no place to put my car. I ended up having to call some family members to come and pick up my car so I could go inside. The rest of Black Friday was crazy, of course. Lines going up and down the aisles, and people just in general acting crazy. I'm at the register and I'm trying to ring people up as fast as I can. The lines are crazy, people are grumpy, and this lady walks up. She has a bunch of different toys and her total came to like $112. I remember this because my birthday's the 12th. She then hands me a bag of change. Yes, this woman was going to pay for $112 worth of toys in change. Not even really quarters, change. The people behind her are pissed because everyone knows this is going to take forever to count out. I ended up having to call my manager over so we could teamwork it to get all this change counted out and make sure that there was $112 worth of change on my counter. And the lady was all rude about it too. She thought that we were inconveniencing her by having to count out the change. What do you think, we're just gonna believe you that there's $112 in this little baggie you have? No. I also had the great pleasure of witnessing a guy stealing a karaoke machine. You legally cannot chase anyone that's shoplifting, so you just have to take down their description, their car if they get in one, and report it to the police. The only upside to this story is that when the guy did bolt out the door carrying a huge karaoke machine, there was a guy out front that yelled to him,
"Run, Forrest, run!"
So that was pretty comical. So the next set of stories are kind of different because I was at this job for a while and was eventually promoted into management. So a lot of these stories are from my manager days. My favorite thing to hear after I was promoted was,
"Yeah, hi. I just called and talked to your manager, and they said I could have this for free."
"Oh, you just called and talked to the manager working today?"
"Yeah, totally just talked to them like 10 minutes ago, and they said that this was gonna be free for me."
"Girl, no you didn't. I'm the manager." Oh, these were good times. A real shitty part of this job and retail jobs in general is people calling in sick, calling out, calling in dead, anything of that sort, which happened way too often to count. And you know what the really shitty part of this is? It's the reliable, responsible employees that suffer after that. Even when I was a brand new employee, I covered so many shifts there was just too many to count. And as I moved up into management, it just got worse and worse. The way that some people think that they can just call in for every shift baffles my mind. And the problem with most retail locations is the big boss doesn't really care how much the lower employee is overworked. And there's always very specific overtime pay rules.
"Hey, I know you've worked like 10 hours today already, but someone called in and I'm gonna need you to stay in close too."
"Oh, okay. When do I get my breaks for my lunch?"
"Oh, you see, that's not really my problem. I hope you can take care of that somehow. Just remember, you have to stay in this area of the store. You can't leave. Okay?"
"Oh, yeah, that's great, because that's totally legal." It is very stressful to have to plan how much you have to drink that day because your help called in and you can't leave to go pee. And the call-ins. Being the manager, I dealt with all the call-ins. Some of the employees we went through drove me insane. Probably took a couple years off my life.
"I can't come in today. I'm sick."
"Oh, you mean hungover?"
"I'm actually in a different state right now, so I'm not going to be able to make it in for my shift."
You didn't know you were going to be in a different state until 5 minutes before your shift?
"I'm just so tired. I can't make it in today."
Are you aware that all of us are tired?
"My husband, he took the car to the coast. I have no way to get into work."
Oh, your husband took the car to the coast. Are you sure you're not at the coast with him? I know someone will comment or suggest that they can't make you stay and work those long hours. I'll let you in on a secret. It happens a hell of a lot more than I think people realize. Another reason to be nice to the employees. And remember that they don't run the company. Something else that was so much fun was when the big bosses came in. Now, sometimes we'd know when they were coming in, and other times we were left to guess, in which case everybody panicked as if we were going to be massacred. It was great when they gave us an estimate of when they would come in.
"Yeah, we're gonna be into your store sometime between Monday and Saturday. Between open and close."
Great! And the big bosses are always super friendly.
"Are you aware that a leaf just blew in the door? A leaf on your watch. What will our customers think if they see that leaf in our store?"
And they love to send out these lists of things they expected to see. And even when things were perfect, they would find some random reason to deduct you.
"Things look wonderful. You've done a great job on your inspection, but your name tag is slightly tilted, so it may be hard for the customer to read, so I'm gonna have to deduct you on that."
One specific time, I was in the middle of training someone, for a different store, mind you. I've trained so many people I'd probably be able to do it in my sleep, And eventually I was training people for other stores as well. Anyway, in the middle of training this poor girl, one of the big bosses walks up. No, hello? Hi, how are you?
Where's her name tag?
Oh, it's her first day. Her name tag's at her store. I'm just training her for a different store.
Why are you training her for a different store?
I don't know. Maybe you should ask their manager.
She needs a name tag. How could you not think of that?
Well, she's not even on the floor yet. We hadn't got that far.
Just get her a name tag now.
I don't know about you, but I've never walked into a store and been so upset that someone didn't have a name tag on. As a customer, I don't care about a lot of the shit that the big bosses seem to care about. For some corporate visits, we were literally told to clean with a toothbrush, or our store would fail. For my final bit of this video, I'd like to talk about customers. Now, I would like to say I think I met some of the nicest and worst people at this job. I have to praise those customers that come in, maybe they're regular, maybe they know you, and they just brighten your day. And if you are a customer that treats employees with respect, I'm giving you an internet hug right now. Is this awkward? Maybe? That's okay. The first customer that comes to mind came in all the time. Let's call him Tim. So, Tim came in all the time. Everyone pretty much knew him. And you know, he started off as a decent guy, nice to joke with and so on. Very quickly, he became a complete and total asshole. He'd constantly complain about the employees, and at one point I think he actually tried to report me to the big bosses because I refused to fire my entire crew. One time he felt the need to tell me that all of my employees were retarded and should be working at Goodwill. Asshole! Tim demanded free things from my employees all the time, and when they would say no, he would either verbally assault them or demand they call me if I wasn't there that day. It pretty much got to the point where the store was debating on banning him from the premises. Yay, good customers! I had another customer that I swear knew every time we were training new hires. Let's call her Sally. Sally would literally come in every time we were training a new person on register and demand that someone else ring her up. Meanwhile, I'm standing right next to the poor new victim, known as a new hire. But no, Sally insisted someone else ring her up because the new hire would overcharge her somehow. Insert eye roll here. I also love the customers that insist that they would be faster and better than the new hire. First of all, no. It's a huge pet peeve of mine to see employees disrespected, especially new hires. It is frustrating as hell when people disrespect or make fun of the trainees. Come on folks, have you never trained for a new job yourself? Can you not understand that perhaps it's a little stressful for them? Back off and let them train without adding your bullshit opinion. It's actually really sad because I lost a few new hires their first day because a customer cussed them out. It is never that serious to cuss out your cashier. Like, why? I just don't understand why we feel the need to yell or cuss out the person ringing you up. Hey, I've had bad experiences at stores too. Maybe the checker isn't fun and upbeat when they greet you, or you had a problem with a product. It's okay, I get it. But yelling at the employee only makes you look like an asshole that everyone talks about after you leave. And most of the time, the problem you're having goes above the employee you're talking to. The cashier does not make up the rules and policies for the store. Let's remember that. Other fun customer experiences was when our computer system went down, which, no lie, was probably twice a week, and I'm being nice. It was one of the worst computer systems I've ever worked on, and lucky for us, it took about 15 minutes to reboot. Customers love when you can't ring them up.
Why is your system always broken?
I wish I knew, ma'am, but I don't own the store.
You guys should really fix it.
Really? You don't say! You know, I totally agree, but once again, I just work here. Like, I'm surprised I didn't end up marrying the IT guy. I was on the phone with him so much. But then it got to a sad point where I knew more about the computer system than the IT guy did. My last customer story takes place right after I was officially promoted, because they were super awesome and made me wait a month before officially giving me the title, meaning I got to do the manager job without the raise. After I got the position and all the customers saw that I had been promoted, I had one guy tell me that he was surprised. Oh, really? Why are you surprised?
Well, you're a girl.
And?
Well, your coworker's a guy, so I just assumed that he would get the position.
He's not interested in management.
But still, it's like more of a guy's position, right?
Oh, my dear dipshit. Welcome to the modern world where us women can do things too. We can vote, drive cars, and even get promotions at work. Damn, I miss those customers. So there it is, folks, some of my stories from my retail experiences. I will end on a positive. Working in retail has taught me a lot of things and gave me a lot of skills that I will use later in life, and I did have some fantastic customers. that were kind people, so have faith that there are still some nice people out in our world. It's just too bad that all the bad experiences are the ones that we remember. Thank you guys for watching this. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!